Hello everybody, my name is TheTfboy, and welcome back to a Little Chips and Tricks video. This time, with a Mismatch. Now, okay. Mismatch, I find, is a very, very effective tank. He's supposed to be he's the only other Guardian class, class in the game, aside from Showdown. And I believe that this guy can actually outperform Showdown depending on what you're doing. I've managed to kill this guy before as playing Showdown, but it's not that difficult. You just gotta make sure when you're fighting against Mismatch, you gotta definitely make sure you know what he's using and not to get just give him back health on one of his equipments. And I'll explain that in a bit. So, weapons, rocket launcher, and the minigun, as well as the saws. Now I actually find that it's more effective to wait for his SKH to go to level 2 for both of his equipment, and level 1 I guess you can use on the saws because that's pretty... It'll still remove the moral on hull boss regardless, and becoming resistance to them for a longer duration really won't make that much of a difference. So this is okay at level 1, but for these two I find it effective to wait until level 2. And you just use these depending on the circumstances. You know, if the enemy is close to you, and you have a decent amount of your health still, use this. If you are low in health, and the enemy is close to you, because basically all of Mismatch's equipment, and this weapon as well, requires enemies to be close to him, so a good counter would be to keep your distance, but still. But yeah, level 2 S-Deck, health is low, use this. So this should get you up to all of your spark back. His equipment. Now, a lot of people actually don't understand when Mismatch has his equipment active. Because, oh god, it drives me nuts. So, this right here, one of his most common ones is that, if anybody is attacking him with an Omni damage weapon, it will repair him instead, and that drives me nuts. That, you know, I'm like playing his Showdown, I'm like attacking with the Gatling gun or the hammer. He uses this equipment, okay fine, I switch to my Surge Cannon. Even though his shield is gone, I still can do damage to him without giving him health back. And then I see like an outsider or something come by and just give him so much health back. It's ridiculous. I don't really blame Outsider because the only weapon he has to shoot is that grenade launcher, if I recall correctly. I'm not sure. But that's besides the point. Yeah, definitely very effective against bots that have very heavy Omni damage. Not so good against a bot like Overclock, considering that he doesn't have an Omni weapon. So just keep... And why is my frame rate dropping? I'm just in the hangar here. Whatever. The Hull Polarizer. Now, this is actually a bit tricky to understand, but let me explain it this way. So, for Mismatch, he gets a 30% reduction period for the duration of this. And then the allies get a 28.5 reduction. But it's not really a reduction because that 28.5% of damage that the allies take is redirected to Mismatch, who still has his 30% reduction. Does that make sense? And also bear in mind that this doesn't apply for any other mismatches near him. So does that make sense? Good. Now, well, that's as basic as I can put it. And then this one is it just alters Mismatch subsystem to increase damage by 20%. I found this actually very helpful when using the S-Tech on this, because the 20% is quite significant. Especially whenever you have multiple allies up here. So theoretically, you can get an additional 80% in damage with yourself and 3 allies, which is pretty effective. So yeah. By the way, just so for equipment, I guess 2 and 3, I generally refer to them as 5 and 6, just because that's on the keyboard. But for these equipment, you'll know if they're you'll know if you're in range of an ally, because there'll be like a little I don't want to say shrink, but there'll be a little tether or something visual that you and allies as well as enemies can see whenever you have one of these equipments activated. And then his subsystem is, of course, reduces incoming damage by 10% for each nearby ally, so he can get a 30% reduction in damage if all of his teammates are nearby, which is pretty darn effective. I have to admit, consumables, prosthetic patch, power cores, nothing too unique. Dealing critical hit repairs your warrior 20% dealt, pretty self-explanatory. Increases critical hit damage by 20%. Now these two power cores actually affect each other because, you know, let's say just theoretically I had a weapon that did 50 damage normally, but when it got a critical hit, it does 100. Just theoretical numbers here. If I adjust this power core, then I would get back. What is that noise? I guess something's going outside. By outside, I mean outside of this hangar in the game. But yeah, using this power core alone would give me back 20 HP. But combining it with this, I would get an additional 20% critical hit, so that would make my critical hit total 120. So then 20% of that would be 24, so I get 4 more HP, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's quite effective with the minigun and, you know, sometimes rocket launcher if you get a critical hit with them. So that's that. It's basically an additional, basically an additional 20% repairs for this. I don't know, or I guess I don't know. Like, this basically comes out to 24%, I guess, because I don't know, whatever. And this one is critical melee disarmor, which critical melee hits have a 20% chance to disable the target's current equipped weapon, which is pretty useful with the buzzsaws when you're trying to finish someone off against like a showdown who maybe is trying to heal himself with a Gatling gun, or say like you have your, or you know, even with a frontline who has his bubble up, and you can use this to damage. You can use this to get through his bubble, remove it, and then I guess maybe disable his weapon along the way. I don't know. Tuning, kind of weird tuning. I have 1 regeneration, 8 resistance, 1 shield, 1 spark, 3 repairing, 9 omni, and 10 spark. So this is just how I like to tune him, and I find it pretty effective. It's pretty balanced. So let's check him out in the field. Just taking a drink of water. And let me see what the heck is going on outside.
Let's go scavenging.
Hello, what's all the commotion out here? Nothing, I guess. Alright. Destroy the extractors. Well, it's only that one over there, isn't it? A lot of Autobots have joined, actually. It was like 4 last time. Whoops. God, why is my frame rate sucking now? I have the settings on pretty low. Sorry about this. I really don't know what's going on. Yeah. Like, I'm getting a solid 20 FPS, which is quite annoying. Oh well. Well, they're in a hurry. Okay.
Is there anything useful on this scrappy?
Alright. I want to see if I can get a mission where I have to destroy some sort of enemy. Ah, darn it. Oh, I did get it. I thought I missed it. Oh well. Hello. At least the frame rate's not dipping at 20, but it shouldn't be. It should be at least 30. Ah, whatever. Alright. Give me a mission with enemies. There we go.
Auto troopers. We're gonna
No, come on, move.
Scrappy.
Alright. So, yes. we go. And then let me get to these. Well, I guess the second one's being taken care of. Mismatch is pretty effective offensively, I do have to say, and he is quite good at increasing his survivability. His self-healing can be quite tricky to pull off. But if you're fighting against a Mismatch and you see him use his number 1 equipment, try your best to immobilize him, stun him, or just keep him from going to those spots, because a level 2, at least for me, can heal up to like 150 health, I think. It's a fixed number. There's no critical hit chance for it. Oh, come on, how long does it take to destroy an auto trooper? Oh well. Let's go see if they need help, and then this noise. Okay. Hey, look, I'm top on the mission. Yay. I do like Mismatch's buzzsaws. It's pretty effective. Alright, let's see what we have now. I wish I could heal you, buddy, but I can't. Alright.
This is gonna be a blast.
You should have been here when I was playing Conduit. Alright. And buzzsaw. Come on. Thank you. There we go. Increase some damage. Let's give my allies some support here. Oh, I guess all the other troopers are dead anyway. There we go. Yay, I'm top of the leaderboards again. Alright. Let's see what's this next mission, and then... Alright.
Something's going down.
Alright, I think that's all I have to say about that. That's a space search portal. So yeah, Mismatch, very effective at close range. He's not the kind of bot that you can fight him from a distance with his rocket launchers, simply because they're a 3-3 omni damage weapon. But yeah, I find him to be an effective tank. Probably second to Flatline, I would say. Maybe Shell Shock, I'm not sure. But he's definitely a bit more balanced. Like, how do I say this? Like, I don't know. I don't want to say balanced. I just want. He definitely doesn't have as much. Words. I just can't talk today. He's better at long range than Flatline. I'll say that much. But if you're looking someone who is a close range expert, Flatline's your better option. But still, he's not bad for what he does. But like I said, a lot of his equipment as well as subsystem requires allies to be near in order to be more effective. Well, it doesn't require them, but it's more effective with allies nearby. So just keep that in mind when wanting to buy him or playing as him. So in a way, he's more effective at open maps because he has his rocket launcher and can pick enemies from a distance, but I feel as though he's more effective in a close range scenario, especially with his equipment from weapon number 2. Yeah, but that's all I really have to say. Vehicle mod, I guess you could use his minigun equipment to repair him if he needs it, but generally if you're chasing somebody, you don't really need repairs. I don't know. I do not know. That's all I really have to say on Mismatch. Thank you all so much for watching, and stream.